Shalom. First and foremost, I would like to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakah Kadash. Double honors to the apostles, elders, bishops of the great millstone, who do rule and teach well. Peace and blessings as always. Salutations to the sincere Akim and the Akwath out there listening and learning, lifting up the standard of Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, wherever you may be in the earth, diligently laboring in his truth and all righteousness and sincerity, occupying in the prophecies until all is fulfilled and we are redeemed. So we just gonna jump straight into it because the mainstream media, they're putting out a lot of distractions, many things to take your mind off of what's really going on in this earth. All right, the Diddy situation, like, you know, what's going on with the fast food, just different stuff that in the grand scheme of things really doesn't mean anything. All right, this is why the men of the Lord, we're occupied in prophecy. Okay, we're constantly watching what the signs of the times. All right, and I want to bring this scripture out in Romans 13:11, classic scripture, and that knowing the time, that now it is high time to awake out of sleep. You see, so now is the time to awake out of sleep. Why? Because we see the way the world is going. We see all of what's happening within the earth, right? And we can look back at what prophecy and line everything up. See, as a marker to know where we at, to know how close the Lord is to returning. And right now, prophecy is jumping off the pages. We see everything that the Lord Yahweh Shah said would come to pass in the last days. These things are happening. Everything is on the table. All right, the MOTB, World War III, all right, the NWO. You see, all these things are lined up, man. And, these are the last few prophecies to be fulfilled before Yahweh Shah makes his return. All right, so this is why the scriptures say it is high time to awake out of sleep. For now is our salvation nearer than when we believe. Because you got Jake out there. They think that either the Lord ain't coming back or that he ain't coming back in their lifetime. Well, we telling you that the Lord is definitely going to come back in this lifetime. All right. Look at what's going on in the earth, man. Like, you literally have the generations being cut off. All right. People now, they're not even having babies no more. You see what I'm saying? Like how they was having babies 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 years ago. Why? Because the Lord is cutting the time short. He's cutting off the generations, man. All right. And on top of that, a mass depop is coming to the earth, man. Okay. Many people are about to drop dead out here. All right. And that's going to be the judgment of the Lord. So once again, everything that you see happening within the earth, it directly ties back to biblical prophecy. And we do these shows to show the true believers this is exactly what time we in. All right. This is why our salvation is near that when we believe. We don't know the day, the hour, but we know that it's near, even nearer than when we believe, right? So all these distractions, if it don't go back to prophecy, what I'm saying, all those certain things, like, certain things are eye-opening, but at the end of the day, prophecy is the main focus, man. That's the point. All right, prophecy is the main focus, man. Because ultimately, the testimony of Yahweh Shah is prophecy. So if you come in the name of Yahweh Shah, then you should be locked into prophecy, right? So today, this happened at over 3,000 congressional staffers had their work information leaked on the dark web. Okay? Now, the mainstream media, once again, they not covering this, all right? They want you to be worried about, what the score was between the Bills and the Giants. You know what I'm saying? The new rosters coming up for the NBA season. You know what I'm saying? Like different stuff like that, man. But as the scriptures say in Isaiah the 60th chapter, it says, "For behold, the darkness shall cover the earth, and gross darkness the people. But the Lord shall arise upon thee, and his glory shall be seen upon thee." So the whole of the earth is covered in gross darkness. All right. From the least to the greatest, from the young to the old, outside of those that are in this truth, that are locked into Yahweh Ba'ashem Shah, this world is in gross darkness, man. Right? That's why the scriptures say to come out of this world, because really this world has nothing to offer. This world has nothing to offer you. It doesn't have anything to benefit you. Everything here is vain and is passing away. You see? And these cyber attacks that they're allowing to happen, these things are being done on purpose. Okay? And mind you, we always bring this out, but notice how all these things are ramping up right before the election. All these, banks closing down and supply chain disruptions and people losing their jobs at an alarming rate, tensions of war popping off, escalating all over the place. All these things are happening right before the election. You know what I'm saying? So the elites, they know what they're doing, okay? And they about to pull the plug on this system. All right, so we gonna check out this TikTok real quick and get into some articles, man, because look, time is short. All right, we can't stress that point enough. Time is short, very, very short. All right, so get yourself right. Let's go.
So the U.S. Capitol was hit by a massive dark web cyber attack here earlier this week here, and there was over 3,000 congressional staffers had their information leaked across the dark web in a wide-ranging cyber attack on the Capitol. Some of the cybersecurity researchers found over 1,800 passwords used by staffers in Congress that was available on the dark web. And due to their access to sensitive information, this is very, very concerning. And that's kind of the latest that we have right now. And as soon as we get any more information, I will definitely let you know. Just want to make everybody aware on this.
Yeah, so all this information has been leaked now on the dark web. And like I was going into yesterday with the ghost jobs, right? Before that, you had a major security breach where pretty much every American's social security number was leaked on the dark web. Okay, now you have this happening to congressional staffers, over 3,000 of them. Now their personal information is on the dark web. Passwords, social security numbers, all that type of stuff is now on the dark web for anybody to access. So what's really going on behind all this? Well, you need to understand something. You need to understand that the agenda for these elites is to move towards a digital system, a digital society, okay? And they plan on doing that by ushering it in by chaos, okay? So the reason why they're allowing these things to happen, and these things are being pulled off by people that the elites have hired and set up in these certain positions to make these things happen, right? But the reason why they want this to happen is because ultimately it's all going towards peace and safety, okay? Look at what's going on. Like, look at the playbook, because we know this devil. Like, we know Esau, right? But when you look at it, Esau gonna come and say, yeah, well, every American's social security number has been hacked. You know what I mean? Even now, congressional staffers have their information being hacked. All right, banks are being hit with ransomware and cyber threats all over the place. All right, so the call is gonna say, the call to action is gonna be, well, listen, this current system that we're operating under is no longer safe because we're having all these attacks. Mind you, keep in mind, they're the ones that are doing these attacks. Okay? Because if they ain't wanted to happen, it wouldn't be happening. Right? But the justification is, well, nobody's information is safe anymore. Okay? This current system that we have set up, it's not sufficient anymore for security. We need a new system, right? We need to know who's who. We need to know who's doing what, because right now everything is pretty much anonymous. Right? People are online. They don't have IDs to identify who they are, whether they're an American citizen or whether they're a foreigner or whatever the case may be. All right, so the solution is going to be, well, now we need to bring in digital IDs. Okay, now we need to bring in CBDCs. Okay, dealing with these banks and people's accounts getting locked out, and ransomware attacks and stuff like that. Everything is moving towards this digital ID system. So you have to really understand what's going on here. These things not happening for no reason. All right, the devil. All right, when you go back to what is that, Genesis? Yeah, Genesis 25. Esau was a cunning hunter, man. All right, so the way that this man moved is very cunning, is very crafty. Okay, in order for him to meet his end goal, he's going to go about accomplishing that in a very crafty way. You see, he's going to go about that very covertly. He's not going to just openly just now we're going to shut it down, boom, and then things just change. No, he's going to have to justify himself for what he wants to do. And this is exactly what you see going on here. All right. So before the election, these are all the things that they got going on. All right. And this is why all these distractions in the media are being put out there to take your mind away from stuff like this. Okay. Because they don't want you to know what's going on. They don't want you to see ultimately what's coming down the pipeline. All right. And it ain't just America. Like the EU, they own the same thing. Australia, prime examples. This digital system about to be rolled out worldwide, man. Okay, Klaus Schwab told you back in 2020, prepare for a comprehensive cyber attack that's going to knock out the grid. All right, and there is going to be a grid blackout before the election too. That information, we've done lessons on that, but that's going to happen as well. And I believe that's really when the issue's really going to hit the fan. All right, when there's a blackout, people ain't got no resources. The stores are closed down. It's anarchy in the streets. Resources are scarce. So that's when you really going to see stuff hit the fan. All right. But hey, Lord's will, we don't even have an election this year. Like Lord's will, all hell just break loose before the election and stuff accelerate, man. That's what we praying for. But we see that this devil, he's about to accomplish the next phase of his agenda, which is to go all digital. All right. So now we can get into the article, just get some more on it. Right. It says personal information of more than 3,000 congressional staffers has been leaked across the dark web in a wide-ranging cyber attack on the Capitol. And keep in mind also, this happened in D.C. This happened in the Capitol. So this is really, significant because it ain't just like this happened in some random city somewhere. No, this happened in the U.S. Capitol, where they have the most information, on deck there. This happened in the U.S. Capitol, man. So they're going to say, well, look, not even the U.S. Capitol is safe. The White House ain't safe. The president could have been compromised. We need to do something about this. We need to implement these digital infrastructures so that we can securely, monitor and lock these information down, man. Listen, we see what the devil is doing, man. All right, internet security firm Proton found over 1,800 passwords used by staffers in Congress available on the dark web through an investigation of exposed accounts among U.S. political staffers, according to the Washington Times. Proton, which is based in Switzerland, worked with the U.S.-based firm Constella Intelligence on the investigation, estimated that almost 1 in 5 congressional staffers had personal information available on the dark web. Proton said the leaks came from several sources, including social media, dating apps, and, quote, adult websites. All right, so that just showed you right there, how these devils get down. You know what I'm saying? All this information is being leaked on the dark web, man. You see? Now, reading on, it says many of these leaks likely occurred because staffers used their official email to sign up for various services, including high-risk sites such as dating and adult websites, which were later compromised in data breaches. This situation highlights a critical security lapse. Pay attention. Where sensitive work-related emails became entangled with less secure third-party platforms. Eamon McGuire, Proton's head of account security, said the volume of exposed accounts among U.S. political staffers is alarming, and the potential consequences of compromised accounts could be severe. Vigilance and strict security measures are essential to safeguard personal and national security. See that? So these devils are pretty much saying in a roundabout way, we need a better system. All right, we need a better system to defend against these type of attacks. All right. Proton also said that it will publish more findings over the coming weeks in order to ensure the safety and validity of political systems during the election. The company also contacted all the affected congressional staffers and informed them of the leaks. So there you go. All right. Now we go here because this ties right into it. Chase abruptly shuts 7 branches in just 1 week amid total closures of 14 for major U.S. banks. So within 1 week, Chase Bank has closed 7 branches. Now, you have to ask the question, right? Why are these banks closing so many branches like there's no tomorrow? What do they know that everybody else don't know? Well, as we've been telling you, the men of the Lord, there's a financial collapse that's about to occur, and it's going to happen sooner than what people think. See, when this thing happens, it's going to catch a lot of people off guard because they ain't paying attention to what's going on with these banks. They not paying attention to what's happening with the dollar. They not paying attention to what's happening overseas in these different nations. They not paying attention to what's going on with the BRICS. They have no idea. They lost in the sauce, man. Going back to Isaiah 60. Gross darkness to people, man. This is what the scriptures say. So when these things happen, right, because these banks are going to collapse. I mean, we've already seen it happen in certain places like Cuba, Australia, certain EU nations. You know what I'm saying? The banks have gone down. People lost their accounts, just cleared out. You know what I'm saying? Can't access no money or nothing. All right. Then on top of that, right now, you still have it going on. You still have these larger banks like Chase and Bank of America acquiring these smaller banks. Why? Because they're consolidating everything together because they don't want there to be any privatized banking in this new system. Everything is going to be centralized. All right. So these main corporate banks, they're going to be the ones that that are going to push these CBDCs, that are going to push the mark, the Charagma. All right. And everybody going to have to get down with the program if they're going to want to function in this society. Okay? So there's many cogs to this wheel, man. Like there's many moving gears to this machine. All right? And Esau, he ain't just working on one facet. He's working on multiple gears. You know what I'm saying? Esau out here switching different shifts, man. All right? But, the goal is still the same. All right. The end goal is still to establish this MOTB system upon the earth, which coincides with Jacob's trouble and also the hour of temptation. You see? Yeah. Closed seven of its local branches in just 1 week, forcing its customers to travel further for vital services. The bank, the biggest in the U.S., was not alone in shuttering locations as it was joined by the likes of Wells Fargo and Capital. And there's a lot going on with Wells Fargo as well, as far as layoffs and fraud and stuff like that. Okay, so this these banking institutions are wicked, man. Ultimately, these things are being collapsed for the ultimate purpose to put people in a position of difficulty. All right, so that they can ultimately choose worshiping the beast over suffering for righteousness' sake. All right, and going with Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. You see? The worst affected state was Ohio, seeing 4 banks closed in just 1 week. God damn. So they trying to get up out of, they definitely trying to get up out of there. With other closures spanning from Wisconsin to New York. Yeah, man. These devils are putting that Agenda 2030, quote unquote, to warp speed. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it's all coming down. All right, it ain't that much time left. These devils are actively attacking free speech. You know what I'm saying? Like I saw something yesterday that they pretty much passed the bill. Quietly, behind closed doors, but they just waiting on the right time to roll this thing out. Well, the perfect time to roll out these certain bills are when chaos occurs. All right, which chaos is already happening. You know what I'm saying? We're already in the midst of chaos. You see? This happening as well. U.S. troops prepare for potential attacks to Alaska as threats are seen by the Russians and the Chinese. Okay? So there's a invasion, all right, coming to America. So everywhere that you look is nothing but war. It's nothing but confusion going on. Okay, you have Russia and China in Alaska right on America's doorstep. Okay, they not moving these troops over there for no reason, because the threat is serious. You know, and this is another thing people ain't paying attention to. You know, in Yahweh Shai, he said that as it was in the days of Noah, what they was eating and drinking, you know, bread and circus, you know what I'm saying? You know, giving in marriage, you know, pretty much just living a very carefree lifestyle, man, and not paying attention to the signs that the Lord was showing within the earth. Well, all these things are going on while you worried about folly. You know what I'm saying? All these things are going on while you trying to find out what outfit you about to wear for your birthday, and you know, trying to find trying to find a new hustle to make some money. This is what's going on. You see? But people's not paying attention to this because the cares of this life have taken over their minds. But the scriptures tell us to not be too invested in the cares of this life. All right, that's why we're supposed to live a simple life, man. Like, really, we ain't really supposed to have too much going on regarding this world. You know, now every brother's situation is different. You know, but for the most part, you know, our focus is on prophecy. Our focus is on Yahweh Shemel Shai, because that's, you know, all that really matters at the end of the day. You know, so let's go ahead and play this.
Alert coming out that the United States is preparing for potential attacks on U.S. soil. Take a look. In the past couple of days, the alert has been coming out that the U.S. troops, they are currently being sent to counter Russian threats that are currently being posed in Alaska. That is right. Now, this comes as, take a look at this. Russian state TV discusses options for seizing Alaska. Now, I know what you might be thinking at first here. This is just Russian TV. This is just talk. What's the big deal? Well, it turns out that the United States is not feeling that way, as more articles are coming out. Take a look at this. The United States currently, they are building up their naval troops presence near Alaska amid Russian activity. So Russian TV is talking about potentially taking over the area of Alaska in the United States in the Pacific. And amid that, we are seeing tons of activity unfolding over there as China and Russia are both sending over various airspace crafts. We're hearing that warships are going over there. There is a lot building up in the Pacific right now.
Yeah, the tensions of war is high in the earth. But what did Yahweh Shai say? Let's go to Matthew 24, right? And let's start at 1. And Yahweh Shai went out and departed from the temple, and his disciples came to him for to show him the buildings of the temple. And Yahweh Shai said unto them, see ye not all these things? Verily I say unto you, there shall not be left here one stone upon another that shall not be thrown down. And as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him privately, saying, tell us, when shall these things be? And what shall be the sign of thy coming and of the end of the world? And Yahweh Shai answered and said unto them, take heed that no man deceive you. For many shall come in my name, saying, I am Hamashiach, and shall deceive many. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. Now, this is one thing that Yahweh Shai said in the last days you would see before he would make his coming, and that would be a sign of the end of the world. You would hear of wars and rumors of wars. Okay, these things right now are rumors. You know, that Russia's going to invade, that China is going to invade, that North Korea going to shoot off nukes, and then, you know, Russia going to shoot tactical nukes. All these things are rumors. All right. But every day that goes by, it seems as though these rumors are turning more and more into reality. You see, ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled. So we not supposed to be troubled. You know what I'm saying? We supposed to look at these things and have our faith increase, because ultimately we understand that these things must be, you know what I'm saying, that we just playing out the Lord's movie at the end of the day. That's how you got to look at it. Like, we just playing out our part in this movie. These things have already been ordained since before the foundations of the world was even made. We just playing out our part. All right. Whether you be righteous or whether you be wicked. All right. But those that have the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, those that have that are tapped in to Yahweh Bashmel Shai through the Spirit, you well see what's going on. And tapping into the scriptures, man, we can look at these things and directly plug it back in to what was written. All right. And we can see that, as Yahweh Shai said it, it's happening exactly that way. You know, so once again, this is a faith booster for us. You know what I'm saying? Like we actually looking at these things, and, you know, we not troubled by it. You know, we ain't worried about it. But the people of this world, they going crazy right now because they understand the implications behind these things. Like they even understand that, damn, these wars are ramping up. Like it's about to be a draft soon. Like I ain't trying to go to war. Like that's what's going through people's minds. But us, we like, hey, bring it on. You know what I'm saying? Esau, stop twiddling your thumbs and just get it over with, man. Come on. Bring the MOTB, jump off World War III, stop popping all this shit and just do what you gotta do already, man. You know what I'm saying? Because we ready to get up out of here. You know what I'm saying? That's our mindset. Verse, see that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass. Yeah, these things must be. But the end is not yet. For nation shall rise against nation and kingdom against kingdom. And there shall be famine, right? So famines are also a large part of last days prophecy. Okay, widespread famines, mass death, mass hunger. All right. This is what Yahushua said was going to happen. And we already see that a famine is being prepared. You see? And pestilence, all kind of, mpox, CV19, you know what I'm saying? Bird flu, cow flu, you know what I'm saying? All kind of flus out here that's going around, right? Disease now is at an all-time high. Why is that? Biblical prophecy. And earthquakes too. Earthquakes all over the place, man. Like I think they just said in California the other day. I forget if it was around LA, but it said like 2,000 earthquakes went off in that area. I'm not like, don't quote me. I'm not sure if it's LA but I know in California they said that 2,000 earthquakes went off in one day. All right, so we definitely seeing them earthquakes pop off crazy all across America, all across the earth. China, Russia, Europe. These earthquakes are happening. All right, and you wasn't seeing it happen like this 20 years ago, 30. Not even 10 years ago was you seeing it happen like this, but it's happening now because we at the end. In diverse places. All these are the beginning of sorrows. And we're definitely in a time of sorrow, man. You go on these social media platforms, everybody complaining. Everybody, wants more money. People are complaining about, people not being, thoughtful no more. Like people not having friends like that. Families, breaking apart. This world is falling apart. You see, and this is what Yahushua said would occur in the last days. These are the beginning of sorrows, man.
Now, and there is concern that Russia could actually be preparing to do an attack and potentially try to seize Alaska. Alert coming out that the United States is preparing for.
Yeah, so these are the rumors. Russia is going to try to seize Alaska. Okay. Now, we don't have any official reports, but once again, these are rumors. Okay, these things are hearsay. All right. U.S. fortifies Alaska with warships, fighter squadron, military, and missile unit amid Russian threats and claims. So America, they really out there, ramping up the security on that border because Russia ain't bluffing. Okay, Russia, really about to make a move on America when they least expect. All right. So in response to increased Russian military activities near Alaska, the U.S. military has bolstered its presence in the region by deploying a destroyer, stationing an army unit with long-range missile capabilities, and placing fighter squadrons and other aircraft on high alert. Why are they not talking about this on the mainstream media? Huh? Why are they not talking about this on the mainstream media? Because you see, they want these Americans to think that everything is all good. There ain't nothing going on. Okay, but people that's in the military, plugged into the Pentagon and these inside, circles, man, they understand how crucial of a time that we're in. Like they understand that we're on the brink of World War III. You see, really, we already in World War III, but America's about to get involved. All right, technically, America already is involved. Okay, look at what's going on over there in Lebanon and Gaza. America is supplying them small hats with weaponry and troops. So technically, we're already a world at war already. It just really hasn't gone nuclear yet. All right. It's only a matter of time, though. In recent weeks, the U.S. Navy destroyer USS Sterett has been stationed off the Alaskan coastline to counter Russian naval vessels maneuvers in this area. The U.S. Army has also deployed troops to remote islands in Alaska to increase military readiness. All right. So look, what more do we have to show you? Okay, what more do we have to demonstrate that we in that time? You know what I'm saying? All things are set to be fulfilled. Let's close out on this here. This what's going on in Lebanon. Right now, the state of Israel, they pretty much staged a ground invasion in Lebanon. Like, it was ever since they launched that invasion, like 500 plus people died, which I don't think that's even the correct number. Like, I think it's way more than that, because anytime that Israel or America or any of the Western allies, anytime they do something, they always gonna lowball the numbers, because they don't want to make it seem like what they doing is that bad. But they destroying a whole lot of people in that region, man. They're destroying a whole lot of people, just like that BS report they came out with when they blew up them pagers in Lebanon. They said 8-9 people died. Man, you know what I'm saying? That ain't how it works. Okay, if you detonating pagers like that, and it was thousands of people injured but only 9 died, it's BS, man. Come on. But these devils, the Lord got them in the spirit to ramp up the pressure. You see? So look, we don't even really gotta say too much more, man. Like, you already see what time it is. All right. So let's check this out and close out. Lord willing, this lesson has been edifying so far.
Well, we begin this morning with the growing conflict in the Middle East, where cross-border strikes between Israel and Hezbollah continue to escalate. Lebanon says over 500 people have been killed and more than 1,000 others injured in Israeli strikes, marking the deadliest day of fighting between Israel's military and the militant group since the war in 2006. Thousands of civilians are fleeing their homes in southern Lebanon, heeding Israeli warnings to evacuate, as Israel's army says it is willing to do, quote, whatever is necessary to push Hezbollah from Lebanon's border. Speaking in the White House yesterday, President Biden said that he is monitoring the situation and he's working to defuse the tensions.
My team is in constant contact with their counterparts, and we're working to de-escalate in a way that allows people to return to their homes safely.
Meanwhile, the Pentagon is sending additional troops amid the growing threat of war. Our Chris Livesay has more from Tel Aviv.
Good morning. The U.S. military is bracing for a wider conflict, sending a small number of additional troops to the Middle East. The Pentagon would not specify how many, only that they would augment the 40,000 already in the region in light of the increased tension. This after waves of missiles landed across Lebanon, 1,600 strikes in all, according to the Israeli military. The attacks continued overnight, setting fire to buildings and homes. Hundreds have been killed and thousands wounded, according to Lebanon's health ministry. The Israel Defense Forces say they sent thousands of text, audio, and video messages warning Lebanese civilians to evacuate as they targeted what they claim are buildings hiding Hezbollah weapons stockpiles. They showed videos they say capture secondary explosions after the initial airstrikes as those hidden weapons detonate. Cars choked the highway as people fled into the night, heading north towards the capital, Beirut. The Pentagon says Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin has been pressing Defense Minister Yoav Gallant for a diplomatic solution to the fighting. The U.S. State Department is warning all Americans to leave Lebanon while commercial flights are still available. Anne-Marie?
All right, Chris, thank you. And in just a few hours, President Biden will give what is likely to be his last major speech on the world stage. He'll address leaders from around the globe at the United Nations General Assembly amid the backdrop of a growing threat of war in the Middle East. Tomorrow, Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky will deliver remarks, followed by Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu on Thursday. CBS News senior White House correspondent Weijia Jiang is following the president's movements and joins us from the UN. Weijia, good morning.
Yeah, so you pretty much get the point. that land over there, the Holy Land is being destroyed. Ultimately, the Lord is allowing them heathen to be destroyed up out of there so that we can take that land back over. All right. So there's a great judgment going on in the land of Israel and in that whole region. All right, because that's where really the valley of Yahweh Shaphat or Jehoshaphat is going to go down. All them nations is going to gather there, and that's where they're going to have that battle of Armageddon. And that's where the Lord is going to judge all these nations together. All right, so we see the build up to what's going on, and once again, it's only a matter of time before these things come forth in their full fruition. 2nd Ezra chapter 9 and verse 1. He answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of the signs pass, right, these prophecies that were spoken of, that were written, which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. For like as all that is made in the world hath a beginning and an end, and the end is manifest. Right? So the end is manifest now through the signs of the times. That's the point, man. Like the signs of the times are the main indicator of how close we are to the end of this world. All right, so knowing how close we are to the end of this world, what manner of person should you be? Well, you should be a person that's diligently seeking the Lord. You should be a person that's locked into prophecy. All right, you should be a person that's increasing your faith day by day. All right, praying for the destruction of Babylon the Great, praying for the destruction of the Lord's enemies. You see, and praying that you be worthy to escape all these things and receive salvation. Because that's what we doing this for, man. Like we doing this to receive salvation and ultimately receive the kingdom. That's our, most fervent desire. All right. To hell with this world, to hell with the people of this world, man, because all this is going to pass away. Right. But what's going to stand is your works that you've, done towards Yahweh Basham Washah, as the scriptures say, storing up your treasures in heaven where moth nor rust doth corrupt. Right. Because that's where we're going to have an everlasting kingdom, and nobody never going to come up against us ever again. You see? Even so, Salakia, verse 6, even so the times also of the highest had plain beginnings and wonder and powerful works, and endings in effects and signs. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and close out here. Lord willing, this lesson was edifying through the Rakah Kadash, called Halal Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai by Hashem Rakah Kadash. And until next time, Lord willing, Shalom to the elect, Kum Yasha'Allah, and the Bible Ball. On to the next one. Shalom.